Washington, Philadelphia as part of our Owen Millman turns 18, 3 days, 3 games, spectacular. I did not expect to get a Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts battle for first place, epic showdown. And yet, this is what we got. I got Jaden Daniels, generational talent. I got Philly fan base mentally on the edge because of Nick Sirianni. Why has this line moved from 3 to 3.5? You're on mute, buddy.
I would say because it's a short week and they're the home team, right? That's usually
Yeah.
what we always talk about. That's such a big deal. So yeah, I'm shocked by it because it's so tempting now to take this Washington on this number,
Yes.
just because this Eagles team has struggled against bad teams, closing out bad teams, let alone good offenses. But the books know that, so they've moved this number just because they obviously need some Washington money. It's been all Eagles money. But that to me made sense, Chad, when it was at 3, right? Like if it's 3, you take the Eagles in that spot against a young, inexperienced Washington team that's never been in this spot before. And we talked about it last week. Pittsburgh was a true first test for this team. Honestly, though, I look back and that Arizona win was a big deal win, right? We've seen how good Arizona's become. But that Pittsburgh game was a true test because that's a legit defense. And as good as Jaden Daniels did, he did struggle a little bit. This Eagles secondary is pretty tough. Like these rookies we brought in, they've been really good. And this defense has changed. And, you know, the linebackers we've added to this team have been good this year. So I knew coming in it was going to take a while for these guys to learn Fang's defense. And, you know, that's the story when learning a new defense. But that could be why the early money's come in, right? You have an Eagles team at home that perceived to be the better team. They've been here before as well, right? I mean, this is not going to be new to Hurts. Playing for the division. That's what this game is. So for the Eagles, this feels like a must win. With Washington, it really doesn't. I could still see them, even with their schedule, they'll still be in this to win the division against the Eagles. The Eagles, they have tough games remaining. So to me, this is more important to them. This is a must win to them. Kind of makes sense that they were resting guys in the third quarter because, you know, this is such a big deal. There was no reason to keep trotting Hurts out there against that Dallas team. And on the flip side, Washington was in a battle, like we talked about. That was a playoff game into the last second. It's a big deal in a short week. So I'll probably eventually take this 3.5. I'll probably give in. But as we sit here right now, if this goes back to 3, I'll happily take the Eagles side.
I'm probably going to end up on the 3.5. I'm hoping that some public exuberance for Jaden Daniels comes in on Thursday. But you just said two things that are really interesting. And when I was doing some research, this is what stood out to me too. The Eagles secondary, Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean right now is according to Pro Football Focus, the second highest rated defensive back in coverage in the NFL this year. That's how good he's been. And he was getting pimped a little bit during that Cowboys game. He made some nice plays to recover the Ezekiel Elliott fumble, but Mitchell made really nice plays in coverage too. But here's the other thing. We talked about Vic Fangio and this defense, and we had sort of said this team is still learning how to play this defense, and we've seen them getting better and better. Their pass rush is all of a sudden elite, right? Top ranked pass rush according to Pro Football Focus. Jalen Carter, second rated interior defensive player for pass rush. He's 1 year too late to guarantee us his rookie of the year for defensive rookie of the year, which is disappointing, but he's gotten really, really good. So those, I think, are two reasons also why the number moved a little bit.
Yeah, the Eagles are a better team. We knew they were going to be a better team coming into the season, especially if the players they took, like we talked about, the secondary worked out for them, and it has. That was the biggest hole we talked coming into the season. They could not stop anyone in the middle of the field defensively. They attacked that this offseason. Offensively, they couldn't pass against the blitz. Hurts was terrible against the blitz. They figured that out as well. So it's like a team that we thought we'd be better. The surprise of the season has been Washington. So it just feels like all the pressure in this matchup is definitely on the Eagles. And That's why, like you just said, it's like I don't mind taking the 3.5. If we lose it, it's like, well, it's like, what did you think was going to happen? The Eagles are the better team here. It's just really about playing this number. Where this Eagles team, I don't trust them this year. I just haven't. I know they've turned things around here, but like this just seems like a game they would let down and disappoint. So I see where you're coming. Want to take the 3.5, but I honestly would be more comfortable taking the 3. So I'm hoping it gets back to the 3 because it seems like a good spot to keep fading this Washington team. That's just, I mean, again, we talked about going to last week. They were 5-0 as a favorite, straight up and against the spread with a rookie quarterback. That was just one of the crazier things we'd ever said. It makes sense for them to start coming back down to earth here as we get later into the season.
Well, look, the other thing we said, and it's a good transition to the Steelers and the Ravens, which is the next game. The other thing we said about the Commanders last week, and it's why we liked the Steelers last week, is the Steelers are by far the best pass rush the Commanders would be facing so far this year. And it kind of showed. Like Jaden Daniels was rushed a lot. He was sacked. They were in the backfield. A lot of those third downs that he normally would be converting with his feet or by rolling out, they weren't converting. Similar situation here on the pass rush, likely to come up the middle, which is an entirely different thing for him to manage, even scarier sometimes. So I don't mind being on the Eagles. I'm not rushing to bet the 3.5. What I said was I'm hoping it gets to 3.
Yeah.
So when I'm sitting in the link and I'm able to legally bet in the state of Pennsylvania, I'm hammering the Eagles at -3. But I'm going to be disciplined. If it's not there, it's not there. Home teams, by the way, 7-3 on Thursday night this year against the spread, but 28-43 since 2020, from 2020 to 23.